Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday, y'all. Nicole Roberts-Jones here, known as the Bankroll Your Brains. Welcome you to another episode of Bankroll Your Brains Thursdays, a time where we connect purpose with creating multiple streams of income from living as the highest and best version of who God created you to be. Every week, I come in to bring you one of my phenomena. Now, today, baby, this is one of my business besties, right? I've known this woman for a really long time, so I have to contain my excitement. But every week we cover one of three topics. Either what is your brilliance, being clear on the one thing and how do you stand in it powerfully. The second is the value tied to it. And the third one, of course, is creating multiple streams of income from it. So today our conversation is really around number one. How do you stand in the full power of your brilliance and let it be seen? Because what's the purpose of having it if nobody knows about it, right? So before I start, those of you that are with me every week, you know how I do. Number one, if I'm looking over here, I'm looking for your comments. As my grandmother would say, I say this every week, don't come in this house and not speak, right? So at least say hello, tell us where you're joining from. I want you to ask questions. This woman has been doing this work for 2 decades. And so she's coming to pour everything she has into you. And the way it's going to benefit you is if you ask questions. So without further ado, I'll come back and say hello to those of you that are going to be bold enough to say hello back. Let me read you her bio and bring her up. Her name is TeeJ Mercer. She is known as the chief noisemaker of Media Mavericks Academy. And she's also known as the beast in the media streets. I love that, right? She is truly a walking exclamation point, and you'll see why in a minute. As I said a minute ago, for over 2 decades, TeeJ has worked on major Hollywood projects with A-list celebrities like Kevin Hart, Tiffany Haddish, Sam Jackson. I'm going to keep naming names you all know and probably love. And she's worked on such hit movies and TV shows as Shrek, The Incredibles, Shaft. She's worked with DreamWorks, Walt Disney, Warner Brothers, ABC, NBC, CBS, MTV. I mean, I can go on, right? See, what she isn't being the world's greatest hugger, because she is, right? Or the celebrity bingo boss. She is busy showing authors, experts, coaches, entrepreneurs how to book themselves in media without a publicist and without being a celebrity. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Miss TeeJ. Hey, girl.
Hey, my Nicole.
Girl, okay, so y'all need to know this one right here. If you were in person, she'd be hugging everybody in the room. So,
I
and
sure
then you have to be
would.
ready. You have to be ready.
Wait, hold on. I get permission because we in COVID. We in COVID, and people are like, don't touch me. I need you to give me 6 feet, 6 feet. So I'm so
I love
happy
it.
to be here.
So excited, even though, listen, so I've known TeeJ, look, she's seen all my purpose shift and shift and shift and has held the space with me,
I've
prayed with
seen it
me.
all.
Right. And so we've done it for each other. So you have to know I'm so excited that I'm going to try to contain it so I can act a little professional. Okay. So hello, Keisha and
But
Georgia.
why we gotta act professional?
No, I mean professional because I'm supposed to
Your
be
people
interviewing you.
snooty. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me you gonna start rolling with snooty people? And we gotta act professional in front of these people?
Stop it. I just
You
meant
get
so I
the
can
wrong
focus.
guest for that.
I just meant so I can focus because I go to
Okay.
Sister Girl and I know there's so much yumminess. We could talk for the next 8 hours. I need y'all to know that.
Right.
But
So
unfortunately, we got 30 minutes.
Let's give them a disclaimer though. Let's give them a disclaimer.
Mm-hmm.
I have my own battle with COVID, and one of the lingering symptoms for me is I lose my voice fast.
Yeah.
However, in the last 4 days, I lost my voice completely. So this is actually the first day I've had to cancel and reschedule interviews. This is the first day I've actually had a voice where you can understand me. So if you see me constantly having to drink, or you can hear it goes, just put in the chat, TeeJ, drink your tea, TeeJ, drink your tea, because I'll get excited and I'll forget. But I'm so glad that I went to bed last night and I was praying, like, okay, Lord, the Nicole's interview is live. I cannot reschedule that on her. I need enough of a voice to at least just talk to the people. So that's why I got a lot to say because I ain't really been talking for 3 days. So I got a lot to say.
And those of you that know TeeJ, her not talking for 3 days, baby, you better buckle your seatbelt. So with that, listen, this is why I said be professional because I want to ask you. I can talk to you, but I want to ask the questions that I know that the viewers they go benefit from whatever we talk about. I know that. But I want to make sure you all walk away with value. So, and I want you also to know what she just showed you is her commitment that come hell or high water. I said hell or high water, right? Nothing's going to stop her from being all that she's called to be. So I want you to know that she came here committed to give you what you need. So here's the 2 things I'm going to ask you to do to participate. to ask a question, because there's more than two of y'all here. I'm just saying. I can see the numbers on the screen. I'm just saying. So ask the question as we pour in, or if she steps on your toes, say, "Ooh, girl, that's stepping on my toes." Whatever that is, listen. She and I are both Jesus girls, meaning that if we're in church, we're the loudest people yelling, "Come on, tell it!" Right? So we want to hear
Right?
that and see that because we can't hear you. Okay. So with that, let me start in. Right.
Okay.
So the thing that I want to really start with, because so many people that are watching this are calling themselves introverts, right? And so I want you to talk about what advice you would give an introvert to put themselves out there. I'm starting with that on purpose, y'all, because she's going to give you some insight. And I want to make sure you know this is for you. Fire away, TeeJ.
So I was trying to find it so I could share it online. Um, first, the what I tell introverts, I love this question. What I tell introverts is to get over yourself. It ain't deep. I'm not gonna give you deep layered. I ain't that chick on any given day. I'm gonna drill it down to the basics. It ain't about you, boo. It really isn't. So if you are in your purpose work and you know you're called to help people. And my motto in Media Mavericks Academy is when you know you are the answer to somebody's prayer, you have a responsibility to make some noise about it. So if you can't actually dig deep enough that you can do a 3 to 5 minute interview on TV, a 15 to 20 minute podcast, a Facebook Live, then I'm questioning, are you really committed to your purpose? Are you
That's
really
good.
committed? Because then what good is it if it's just sitting inside your little house? What good is it if it's just staying in your mind? You ain't helping nobody by keeping your mouth closed. So you have to really just start with, it ain't about me. It ain't about me. I'm going to dig deep. I'm going to do what I need to do for these 3 minutes that I'm doing a TV interview, or the 5 minutes I'm doing a radio interview, or the 15 minutes or 20 minutes that I'm actually doing a Facebook Live, or the half-hour keynote I need to give. I'm going to just dig deep. And then you can go back to your shell.
Hello.
But it
That's
ain't,
so
you
good.
gotta start with, I'm looking at you side eye if you're telling me that you're walking in your purpose and you're committed to serving. No, you ain't. If it's you just committed inside the four walls of your house, you're not.
And I love this conversation because, as TJ knows, we met when we both attended an 18,000 member church. And let me out myself, right? And I remember, so what I used to do, and some of you guys have heard this story. What I used to do is, so I had a program working with African American teenage girls. And so because I was shy, and yeah, I used to be shy. I can't claim it anymore, but still, I have to fight through it every time I speak. Not today, I'm used to it now. But every time I wanted to make an announcement at church, I would train my girls and I'd call it leadership development. I'm going to write the whole announcement. I'm going to train them and I'd call it leadership development because I'm training them and teaching them and coaching them. Well, I remember one Sunday when Pastor asked me to bring the announcement in the pulpit. And I'm like, okay, he going to make my announcement. To make it even long story short, because we don't have the whole time for me to tell the whole story, he pushed me in front of the microphone during the announcement. Let me tell y'all how horrible I was. I was shaking so hard, I couldn't even read my paper. Okay. So I know my sentences didn't go together. I don't know if I conjugated the verbs right. I don't know if I sounded like I had some sense. All I know is I was pissed at my pastor. So let me tell you what pastor said to me after church, after I calmed my loins, because I wanted to cuss him out. Let me keep it all the way real. I was like, Nicole, you at church. You can't act like that, right? So I was calm myself down long enough to talk to him like I had some sense and said, Pastor, why did you do that? Here's what he said back to me. Same thing TJ just said to y'all. God needs to use your gift, and you will stay humble, and you'll call it being humble when what it is fear.
Yeah.
And in order for God to use you, you got to get over yourself. And I said, well, Pastor, I'm nervous. And here's what he said back. You're nervous because you want to be good for other people. The minute you're not nervous, you are full of yourself. So you've got to learn to work through your nerves because, as TJ said, it's bigger than you. There's a purpose. There's a reason why you need to get in front of these people so they know you exist. And I remember after Pastor said that, and I was mad. I promise you, I started getting calls that next week. And I didn't have time to try to learn it. I just had to in the middle of it. And I was horrible the next time too, and horrible the time after that too. But I just kept working through it and working through it and working through it. So speaking of working through it, can you give us some, let me see, because there's so many questions I could ask her, right? So I have them all written down, right? What are some do's and don'ts? Whether you want to call it getting on TV or doing publicity, what are some do's and don'ts?
So what you don't want to do, let's start there. is going into the media with a tuning into channel WIIFME. What's in it for me? I
Right.
need you to turn to channel WIIF TLTR. What's in it for the viewer? What's in it for the listener? What's in it for the reader? No
So good.
producer is interested in handing over. If Nicole thought that I was just going to come on here and I'm going to talk about my latest shirt that I produced, like shameless plug, that's a whole other venture. But if all I was going to do is promote my book and promote my new show or promote, she wouldn't be interested.
Right.
That she's not going to hand her platform over for that, because people are just
Right.
not going to stay tuned to that. So
Right.
she has to be thinking about her listeners and her viewers. So you have to go in to the interview, to the approach, even of the pitch of how does this serve the audience.
Right.
So say, for instance, if you have a a book, you don't pitch the producer by saying, hey, I'd like to come on and promote my book. First of all, promote is a dirty word in Media Mavericks land. I need you to
Right.
get rid of that out of your, we all know it, it's in there, but shift the perspective to how does my book serve the audience? So
Right.
take a look at what the chapter is. Some nuggets inside the chapter that will actually have you going, this will help solve a problem for the audience. And the other thing I want you to really start doing is, what problem do you serve? I mean, what problem do you solve?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have
Mm-hmm.
to solve the problem. When
Right.
you're watching, you do have, those fun, you have those fun segments that you'll see on Good Morning America and Today's Show, what have you. But at the end of the day, they're entertaining, but you have to look at, how does this solve the viewer? When you're thinking about it, you know that moms are, in the morning, they're not just sitting down necessarily watching TV. They're getting their kids ready. They're ironing clothes. They're getting themselves ready, to go to work, whatever. What is that thing that when they're walking past the TV and they're yelling for little Billy to get his shoe on, that
Mm-hmm.
they hear, and it makes them stop and go, wait a minute, I need to lean in, because she's
Mm-hmm.
speaking my language. I thought I was the only one that was having this issue.
Right.
I thought I
Right.
was the only one. So you have to, that's the biggest thing I can tell you. Go at it for, what problem do you solve? If you're not famous, if you're not a big celebrity, they're not coming to let you just promote.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
And even with the what problem are you the answer to? I want you guys to get this. You're not everybody's answer. And I see so many people that say, oh, I should do that because it's good publicity. But if it's not in alignment with what you are the answer to, God, and you guys have heard me, those of you that are here week after week, God created you as a solution. And she just said it too. So whatever that solution is, it's that one thing. And you got to be clear. Yesterday, you and I got a call to speak at an event. They wanted me to talk about nonprofit management. Now, while I do know nonprofit management, that's not the brand that God has me really dwelling in right now. So I have to tell her no. She said, but I said, yeah, I can give it, but should and could is two different things. So it's so important, because just because you're being seen, right, doesn't mean, and so you've got to be in alignment with your brand. The other thing I want to bring up is when I did, and you'll appreciate this, TeeJ, and this is leading into the next question. When my publicist, my book came out, she did this whole press thing in New York. And so Essence was there and Black Enterprise was there and all kind of media folks were there, right? Here's what I said when I stood up, and I'm gonna show you the face she made when I said this. I said, listen, I'm not here to be famous. I could care less if it's all about me being famous and being in your magazine for that reason. And my publicist was looking at me like this, right? I'm here because I'm called to transform lives. I'm called to hold the space that other people live as the highest and best version of who God created them to be. So if that is a conversation that we're going to have in your magazine, in your newspaper, on your radio show, then let's go. And then I sat down to be interviewed. And the woman that was interviewing me was an editor at Essence. She said, well, all right, then let me throw these questions away. Right. But I want y'all to get this. You get to have the conversation you want to have, the way you want to have it, to help other people. That's so good, TeeJ. So good.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm a big proponent of that. Even when you asked me, I sent you a text last night. Okay, what you want them to walk away with? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what is the takeaway? Because I just said to yes to Nicole just because of who she is in my life. To be honest
Okay.
with you,
She said,
I know.
she said, because there's a nickname she calls me that she can't call out loud on TV.
Right. I can't.
Go
I can't.
ahead.
I was like, you want
What's
to
her
tell me
name?
what we're talking about? Because I don't know. And she's like, I sent you the email. I didn't read that. I just said, okay, just what time I'm supposed to be there. So I was like, but tell me what you want them to walk away with. Because
Yeah.
I can talk about 11 things. I can talk about how you book yourself in the media without a publicist, without being a celebrity. I can talk about resilience from domestic violence. I can talk about just recently launching my newest company, Planet Bougie, which is a philanthropic TV production company dedicated to all HBCUs because I graduated from the Howard University. That's where I'm focused on. So we can talk about all of that. But I need still, whatever we talk about, I need to know what you want your audience. What does your audience need from me? And that is the mentality that you go into everything, especially when you're operating. Nicole had her own publicist. Publicists are great, don't get me wrong, but everybody doesn't have the budget for a publicist. So
Right.
if you're rocking with me and I'm showing you my tools and techniques of how you can do this without a publicist because you got more time than you have money, then I need you to go in with that mentality. How do I serve this audience?
And even if you're going to hire a publicist, let's keep it all the way real, because some of y'all are going to say, but I don't want to do it. But let me be clear. Anytime you hire a team as a person that's starting out in entrepreneurship, and Angela said great nuggets, right? And make sure y'all ask questions. If there's anything you have questions about, I'm going to keep asking questions till y'all do, right? So anytime you hire a team, you have to have done it yourself first, because when someone hires you or when you hire someone, they're going to say, so tell me what you've done already. Tell me what you want. And then you have to give them collateral. And so if you haven't already had collateral, if you haven't, right? And the only reason I hired a publicist is like TeeJ said, listen, I'm so in fulfillment but I've had to do my own PR. And I still do it, by the way, right? So even with a publicist, I still do it because I meet people. So with that, let's stop talking about me. So with that, let's talk a little bit about which way can I go? How can someone get more exposure? Say they've written a book, say they've done something, because many of you guys, if you have a specific question, ask the question. But some of you are budding entrepreneurs, some of you have been in business for years, or you have a book that you just are writing or getting ready. Well, writing and getting ready, same thing. Writing or already wrote. How can you use PR to really get the exposure around your brand?
So, like I mentioned earlier, if you're writing a book, you really want to look at what problem does that book solve? What nuggets you can pull outside of that book to help people. Wait, what's the question? That's the other thing, Nicole.
How can media help?
Wait, one of my lingering sentences also, my mind will go blank. Wait, what's the question again?
Are you expecting me to remember the question I asked you? How can media help someone get more exposure?
Oh, okay. So, first of all, it can explode your brand. Now, listen, I stay in the lane of TV, basically. But what I teach is applicable to, TV, radio, podcast, print. It's applicable. But I did TV for 25 years. So everything I teach, my media Mavericks, is from that perspective. If you do a TV show that has 500,000 viewers and you booked yourself, you just did 500,000 worth of marketing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I tell people, get over yourself. Get out there and start talking. You can go through other marketing channels and what have you, but TV is that one thing that will give you expert status. When you start coming and putting on the logos, who we got here? Angela Brown has been featured on ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, and you put that on your website. When a potential client or customer is considering you and Jessica LaShawn, Jessica hadn't done a lick of media, but Angela has. Who do you think that client is going to go with? The one who ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox have vetted as an expert. So what that translates into, you are perceived as an expert. So then as an expert, when you submit your speaking rates, they can justify why they got to pay you, why they have to pay you this amount of money, because you out here doing the damn thing.
Right. And you're an
So,
expert. Yeah.
so get off of your butt and actually start putting yourself out there. Now, let me say this, because I'm anticipate a question that I get all the time. People ask me about press releases. When it comes to TV, a press release is only as good as your follow-up. Now, press release is really good for print because somebody can pick that up and write a whole article about you. But I don't do press releases. I've written, I think 3, maybe 2.5, maybe in my time of doing this. But a pitch, I teach people how to write bomb pitches.
Right.
My pitches get picked up. My pitches get my media Mavericks booked. On my top tier media Mavericks, if I take you on as a client, I guarantee that I'm going to book you on ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox, or CW at least 3 times. I've never had to refund my money based on pitches. So a press release is going to go into mostly into a main, what am I trying to say, inbox. But when you write a targeted pitch sent to the right person, I just booked one of my clients 2 days ago on NBC in Decatur, Illinois, based on a pitch. I pitched it in the email. We wrote the pitch, pitched it in the email. When I got the producer on the phone, she really liked that pitch. So what did I do? I pitched her my second client. We want them too.
Right.
I pitched them in real time on the phone.
Yeah.
So press releases are great. Don't let me discount that. But if you're looking for TV, then you want to actually learn how to write a pitch.
Now, you guys see, she just gave you a whole nugget right now, and TeeJ can go on and on. But as believe it or not, our time is coming to an end. TeeJ has a gift for you. So tell them about this gift, TeeJ.
Okay, so this is the number 1 secret. If you don't listen to nothing else I say today, nothing else, I need you to lean into this. So this is called newsjacking. Newsjacking is the art of inserting yourself into a social media trend, a current event, a movement of what's already happening, and putting yourself out there and sending a pitch. If you do this right, in some instances, I've seen people get booked in less than 24 hours on TV. Let me give you some quick examples. Go and get newsjackthat.com. That has the free download guide that is about 20 minutes of you reading. But I'm going to give you a couple examples so you can start thinking differently of how you approach media. So let me think of one. One of my, no, I ain't going to give you the best one just yet. I'll save that one for last. So like there's a social media expert named Natalie Goucher. Natalie is not one of my media Mavericks, but when I put these out there, people pick them up. I put out newsjack alerts. People pick them up. So you remember when it came out that the app that Facebook, everybody was doing on Facebook, they were aging themselves and seeing what they looked at 90 years old. Well, remember it came out that it was a Russian company. So everybody's freaking out. It's Russian company.
Right.
Well, I put out there, if you are a social media expert, a cybersecurity expert, pitch the media about how to protect kids from these apps. What settings do you need and all of that. Natalie picked that thing up and was on TV 24 hours, less than 24 hours later. Off of newsjacking. That is what newsjacking can look like. One of my best newsjacking, I still to this day popping my collar over this one. So Black Panther came out. There's that scene where the Wakanda generals are putting on wigs over their bald heads to go into this casino so they can blend in with the European experience. But when the fight broke out, remember this? When the fight broke out, they ripped those wigs off and they handled their business.
Right.
Well, at the time, I had a hair loss expert, and she was big into women understanding what are the different causes of them losing their hair. I sent out one pitch, Nicole, one pitch, Angela, one pitch, Keisha. One pitch that said, Wakanda warriors are ripping their wigs off by choice, but 46 million women are wearing wigs by force. One pitch got her ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox.
So good. That's so
That's
good. Y'all
the
see the
power
difference?
of
That's
Newsjack.
why you need to understand how to newsjack. So make sure you get newsjackthat.com. Some of you guys, I love that. I see you guys tagging people, keep doing it. I know many of you watch the replays. I want you to get this. Now, let me tell you a secret. You know, when you get this, you're going to be on TeeJ's mailing list. So you're going to get more from her. And those of you that want to work with her, all you going to do is reply to the email. Somebody on her team will talk to you and show you what that looks like, right? So thank you, TeeJ, for fighting through your voice going in and out. Thank you for your commitment to help entrepreneurs and really infopreneurs understand how their information is value needed and should be seen in media so that you can serve more, do more. I appreciate you, girl. I really do.
I love you.
Love you too, girl.
Thanks for having me. Bye, everybody.
Yay. So with that, you guys see, again, it's there, newsjackthat.com. I want you to make sure you go grab that gift because somebody's looking for you and needs you. And the only way they will find you is if you commit to get past yourself and let your gift be seen. Now, in addition to that, every week I give you a gift, and I give you some kind of gift because many of you are looking to get clear on what your purpose is because listen, you can't grow a brand that's not clear. So I'm going to show you my gift for the week. And then I'll come back and wrap up this episode. So hang tight. Hi, I'm Nicole Jones, the Bankroll Your Brands expert. And can I tell you that I'm just sick and tired of all the people that make these false promises and offer you a way to make quick, fast money, but they never speak to you about purpose or the one thing that God has created you to be in this world. Now, listen, when you do the work to live as the highest and best version of who God created you to be, see, abundance comes to you. And I'm not just talking about money. Well, I am talking about money, but I'm also talking about an abundant life full of meaning and fulfillment. So if you've tried so many different systems and programs, but you still don't feel like you're clear about what your purpose is, or you don't have a coherent strategy to create multiple streams of income from it, then you are the exact reason I created my free 3-day masterclass called Align Your Purpose with Profit. Listen, I've worked with thousands of people just like you, and what I know for sure is there are 3 simple steps to turn the one thing God created you to do into revenue right now. And to do that, you have to know your purpose is bigger than how much money you make. See, it's about the impact God created you to make in this world. Matter of fact, you have people that are waiting for you. And I can't wait to walk you through all you need to be the answer you were born to be in this world and how that effortlessly brings revenue to you. Yeah, I'm gonna show you all of that, right? And how to go after the abundantly above all you can ask or think that Ephesians 3:20 talks about. You ready? Then I look forward to serving you and align your purpose with profit.com. So again, I always want to serve you with whatever you need, whether you want to get clear on your purpose because you're ready to start or grow your purpose-focused business, or you've been in business for years and you're ready to get media. That is what TeeJ is about, media, and I'm purpose. And here's what I'm always committed to every week on Bankroll Your Brands Thursdays, to give you everything you need end to end to have a profitable business, but also to live as the highest and best version of who God created you to be. So that's it for this episode. I'm always here excited to pour into you. The other thing I want to encourage you to do is come back and share value. Below, post the one valuable tip you got out of this episode. And then for ongoing tips, tools, strategy, I want you to also follow me on Instagram because every day, a couple times a day, I'm posting. So I want to make sure that you're getting everything you need to move your brilliance into your paycheck. All right. So with that said, that's our episode for this week for Bankroll Your Brands Thursdays. Tune in. I'll be back next Thursday with another episode, another powerhouse woman pouring into you. All right. So until then, take good care. Have a phenomenal rest of this week. Bye, y'all.